Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? Not because you said anything, but simply because you exist? Some people call it presence, others call it charisma. But there's something deeper happening here. Something that makes certain individuals so magnetically powerful that they either draw people in completely or make others feel inexplicably threatened. The answer isn't confidence tricks or manipulation tactics. It lies in something Carl Jung called the authentic self, a force so raw, so unfiltered, that it challenges everything society taught us about blending in and staying small. Today we're diving into the 13 unmistakable signs that your aura is so strong it actually threatens people around you. Carl Jung believed that most people live behind masks, what he called personas. These are the carefully constructed identities we show the world to fit in, to be accepted, to avoid conflict. But then there are those rare individuals who have done the inner work, who have faced their shadow, integrated their darkness, and emerged with something most people have never experienced: authentic presence. You don't need to announce yourself. Your presence announces itself. And here's what makes people uncomfortable. When someone operates from this level of authenticity, it highlights everyone else's masks. You become a walking mirror, reflecting back what others could be if they had the courage to be real. And that terrifies people who have built their entire identity on being safe, acceptable, and invisible. Sign 1. People confess their secrets to you. Strangers tell you their deepest secrets within minutes of meeting you. This isn't because you're asking invasive questions. It's because your energy creates a safe space for truth. Jung called this psychological contagion, when one person's authenticity triggers authenticity in others. But here's the threat. After people confess to you, they often feel vulnerable and exposed. They blame you for making them feel too much, for seeing too much. Your truth was so magnetic, it pulled their truth out of them, and not everyone is ready for that level of honesty. Sign 2. Your silence makes people nervous. Most people fill silence with chatter, with nervous laughter, with meaningless noise. But you're comfortable in the spaces between words. Your silence isn't empty, it's full of presence, full of awareness, full of the kind of depth that makes shallow people squirm. When you're quiet, people start projecting onto that silence. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're judging, what you're seeing. Your stillness becomes a screen for their insecurities, and that makes them nervous because they can't read you, can't predict you, can't put you in a box.
Sign 3. People either love you or dislike you instantly. There's no middle ground with you. People don't have lukewarm reactions to your presence. This is because authentic power is polarizing. Those who love you instantly are recognizing something they long to embody themselves. But those who dislike you immediately, your authenticity threatens their constructed identity. Jung called this shadow projection, when we hate in others what we've rejected in ourselves. The person who judges your confidence as arrogance has rejected their own power. The person who calls your boundaries selfish has never learned to protect their own energy. You don't engage in gossip or drama. When conversation turns to gossip, you either redirect it or quietly remove yourself. Your energy doesn't resonate with that frequency because you understand that talking about others is usually a way of avoiding talking about ourselves. Your refusal to participate threatens the social ecosystem that many people depend on. Gossip creates artificial intimacy. It makes people feel close without actually being vulnerable. When you don't play that game, you expose how hollow those connections really are. Your integrity becomes a mirror that reflects their lack of integrity, and they'll call you boring or too good rather than confronting their own standards. Sign 5. Your success seems effortless. While others struggle and force their way toward goals, things seem to flow for you. This isn't because life is easier, it's because you've learned to work with your authentic nature rather than against it. Jung called this synchronicity, when external events align with internal states. When you're operating from authenticity, opportunities appear naturally, and obstacles seem to dissolve. But people who are forcing their way through life see your flow and call it unfair. They don't see the inner work you've done, the masks you've shed, the courage it took to be real. They only see the result, and it threatens their belief that success requires suffering. Sign 6. People feel seen by you in a scary way. When you look at someone, you don't just see their surface, you see their essence. You see past the performance to the person underneath. But being truly seen is terrifying for most people. They've spent so much energy constructing their image, and then you come along and see right through all of that to who they really are. Your ability to see becomes their vulnerability. Instead of appreciating the gift of being witnessed, they often retreat, create distance, or even attack the messenger, because your vision threatens their carefully maintained facade.
Sign 7. You don't need external validation. You've developed what Jung called inner authority, the ability to validate yourself, to trust your own judgment, to find your worth independent of external feedback. This terrifies people who live for approval because it reveals how much of their life is spent performing for others. Your self-sufficiency threatens their control. They can't manipulate you with praise or punishment. People are used to trading validation, but you're not participating in that economy. This breaks the unspoken social contract that most relationships are built on, and they'll call you cold or selfish rather than admit that your independence threatens their dependence. Sign 8. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. You don't set boundaries to punish people. You set them to protect your energy. And once you set them, you don't explain, justify, or apologize for them. This is radical in a world where people expect access to your time and energy just because they want it. Your willingness to say no without elaborate explanations threatens people who are used to wearing others down with guilt or manipulation. Your boundaries reveal how poorly others have been protecting their own energy. They'll call you selfish or difficult rather than confronting their own lack of self-respect. Sign 9. You don't apologize for being yourself. Most people spend their lives apologizing for their existence, for being too much or too little. But you've made peace with your nature. You don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You don't edit your personality to fit into spaces that weren't designed for you. This unapologetic self-acceptance is revolutionary. Your refusal to diminish yourself threatens individuals who have built their identity around being the accommodating one. Your authenticity reveals their self-betrayal, and they're more comfortable with your apologies than your acceptance. Sign 10. People project their fantasies onto you. Because you don't reveal everything about yourself, people fill in the blanks with their own projections. You become a screen for their unconscious material. Jung understood that what we see in others is often a reflection of what we carry within ourselves. The person who sees you as intimidating is often intimidated by their own power. The person who finds you mysterious is often disconnected from their...
Sign 11. Your presence changes room energy. When you enter a room, something shifts. Conversations pause. Energy recalibrates. People become more aware of themselves. This isn't because you're commanding attention. It's because authentic presence has a gravitational pull. Your energy field is coherent, integrated, powerful. People either rise to meet your vibration or resist it. Those who resist feel exposed, uncomfortable, judged, even though you're not judging anyone. Your presence creates a response because neutrality isn't an option when someone carries this level of authentic power. Sign 12. People test your boundaries. People seem drawn to push against your limits, to see if your boundaries are real or just for show. They'll make inappropriate comments, ask for favors they know you'll refuse, create drama to see if you'll get pulled in. This testing isn't random, it's psychological. Your strong boundaries threaten people who live without them. They're trying to prove that you're just like them, that your power is an illusion. When you consistently maintain your standards, it forces them to confront that some people really do live differently. This either inspires them to raise their own standards or frustrates them into more aggressive testing. Sign 13. You trigger people's healing. Your presence activates people's unhealed wounds and suppressed potential simultaneously. Being around you forces people to confront what they've been avoiding, both their shadows and their light. You're not trying to heal anyone, you're simply being yourself. But authentic presence has a healing quality because it's integrous and safe. It creates an environment where suppressed aspects of self can surface. But healing isn't always comfortable. Sometimes people blame you for the discomfort that comes with their own expansion. They want the healing without the feeling, the growth without the growing pains. Jung taught that the goal of human development is individuation, becoming whole, authentic, integrated. Most people live in fragments, showing different faces to different people. But when someone completes this process, they become what Jung called self-actualized. They operate from wholeness rather than woundedness, with no internal conflict draining their energy. This wholeness is what creates such a strong aura. But wholeness threatens fragmentation. Integration challenges projection. Authenticity exposes inauthenticity. When you've become whole, your existence becomes a challenge to everyone still living in pieces. You represent what's possible when someone chooses truth over comfort. Living with this level of authentic presence isn't always easy. There's loneliness in being...
But Jung reminded us that once you've tasted authenticity, you can never fully go back. The cost of dimming yourself becomes higher than the cost of shining brightly. Your job isn't to manage other people's comfort. Your job is to remain true to yourself and keep holding this frequency of what's possible. When your aura triggers someone's discomfort, it's highlighting areas where they've abandoned themselves. When your authenticity makes someone defensive, it's showing them where they're still performing. The threat you represent is the threat to their limitations, their excuses, their comfort with mediocrity. You're threatening their willingness to accept less than their full potential. Your strong aura offers others a reflection of their own suppressed power. Your authenticity reminds them of their buried truth. Whether they receive this as threat or gift depends on their readiness to grow, and that's not your responsibility to control. So, how do you navigate the world when your presence triggers such strong reactions? First, understand you're not responsible for managing other people's projections. Your job is to remain authentic, not make everyone comfortable. Second, learn to distinguish between those threatened by your light and those inspired by it. Spend your energy with the latter while maintaining compassion for the former. Third, develop what Jung called psychological immunity, staying centered in your truth regardless of external reactions. Remember that your presence serves a function beyond your individual life. You're holding a frequency that others need to see, proving that another way of being is possible. When you consistently show up as your authentic self, despite the discomfort it creates, you give everyone permission to do the same. Your refusal to shrink creates space for others to expand. Your commitment to boundaries teaches others to respect their own. Your willingness to be disliked for being real inspires others to risk authenticity. Jung called this the collective unconscious. We're all connected, and when one person becomes whole, it makes it easier for others to access their own wholeness. Your strong aura isn't just about you. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you're raising the vibration of the collective field. Your example becomes others' permission. Jung's ultimate teaching was about integration, bringing together all aspects of ourselves, including the part.
Your strong aura is a gift to be shared responsibly, a light to be held steadily, a frequency to be maintained regardless of external reactions. If you've recognized yourself in these 13 signs, then you know the truth. Your presence does threaten people. Not because you're trying to harm them, but because your authenticity challenges their inauthenticity. This isn't your fault, and it's not your responsibility to fix. Your job is to continue being authentic, to keep growing, to maintain your boundaries, and to use your presence in service of love. Carl Jung spent his life helping people understand that the goal is to become who we truly are, not who others expect us to be, but who we are in our deepest essence. You've done that work. You've faced your shadow, integrated your fragments, and emerged as an authentic individual. That's why your aura is so strong, why it threatens people, and why it's desperately needed. Don't apologize for your presence. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't hide your light just because some people prefer darkness. The world needs more people like you, people who've done the inner work, who live from authenticity,
who aren't afraid to be real even when it makes others uncomfortable. Your strong aura is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be embraced, integrated, and used in service of the highest good. Keep shining, keep growing, keep being authentically, unapologetically yourself. The world is depending on it. Remember, your authenticity is not a threat. It's a gift. Keep giving it to the world. If this message resonated with you, share this video with others who need to remember their own power. Like this video if it helped you understand your authentic presence. Comment below which of these 13 signs you recognized in yourself. Subscribe for more insights into authentic living and the wisdom of Carl Jung. Your authenticity matters,